the girls at work keep singing it. Walking through the front door.
And check this out, true comfy stadium seating in the suites. Pretty nice.
I think she's going to take me to the Red Lobster.
Oh, that sounds good. Dig in. You deserve it. Police are now worried about that bridge caving in. They're worried about it giving way.
Hey, I'm accepted and finally respected when they pick up one of those trophies. There were 2 other cars alongside the road with shattered windows, and these scattered everywhere.
Mall security asked them to leave the premises because they were interfering with the mall Santa.
Right.
I told you
Left.
I was bad.
Right. 1, 2, 3. I like to take the lead anyway.
And it's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your tummy at the same time to me when I see you go away at that instrument like that. Now, if you need some help losing weight, you might want to look at chewing gum. Scientists at the Imperial College and Hammersmith Hospital in London are working on a way to conquer obesity by developing a gum that makes you feel full and eat less. They haven't said yet whether they figured out the side effects of an achy jaw. And do you want to get yourself a little post-baby gift for all the hard work you went through bringing that little one into the world? Then you might want to consider rings made by Rocks to Buy Baby. They're the latest in birth announcements. Sterling silver rings coated in pink or blue enamel. What's engraved inside? It's a boy or it's a girl. There's a lot more ahead. A top fashion designer is working his magic on another discount clothing store. Plus, trying out the latest diet? Don't worry about the fads, just get back to the basics. Good morning. This is going to be down in that construction zone down in Franklin, 65 near 840 over by Paytonsville Road. Now, the tanker truck's on the southbound lanes of 65, but the interstate shut down both directions. This is a pretty big fire. Police are now worried about that bridge caving in. They're worried about it giving way. So I imagine that interstate's not going to be reopened for rush hour. Your best bet, Lewisburg Pike 431 can get you around that. Some other closures just off of the interstate there, Long Lane and Goose Creek bypass area. That is closed down as well, so you cannot even work your way to the interstate there to create any kind of a backup. Again, 431 Lewisburg Pike will help you out if you're coming out of the Spring Hill, Thompson Station area. You can catch Lewisburg Pike, head up north, catch 96 and get back over to 65 and then head up into Nashville if you need to get on the interstate to come up to work early this morning. We don't have any more updates, but again, you can see the fire up on the interstate and then, you know, like it fell off of the interstate down below, some burning pieces as well. So this is going to be something that's going to affect us through rush hour. There's no way, you know, that will be reopened by 7 o'clock. If you're thinking, well, hopefully it'll be cleaned up by then. No way. Lewisburg Pike 431 is going to be extra busy and stacked. It's going to be quite a mess because that Spring Hill area and Thompson Station area is so populated there. A lot of folks used to just jumping on 840, but that's quite a stretch they've got blocked there, and they're trying to reroute traffic.
Still tying up the eastbound lanes of 40, which are shut down just before 840. THP officers tell us that the driver actually blacked out this morning before 6:30 when this crash happened. Here's the deal. He was heading eastbound on 40, and just before the 840 exit, he hit an embankment. The tank came off of the cab, rolled and ruptured, and leaked fuel all over the side of the road. Now, basically, another tanker has to come in and pump out that fuel off the tanker that rolled over. Then they have to haul in some new dirt to put alongside the road. That's going to tie up traffic at least until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So eastbound lanes will stay shut down during this process. The westbound lanes may have to be shut down as well during the process. But at this point, there will be no evacuations. And some good news, they do say that the driver is okay at 11 Hospital. So in the meantime, your best way to get around this is go ahead and exit Highway 109, get over to 840, and then you can get back on the Interstate 40 over in Wilson County. Back to you, Holly.
This show has come a long way since the days of Eddie Arnold and Jack Green sweeping the awards. Tonight at the Sommet Center, 7 o'clock, we're going to have lights and smoke and all kinds of great performances. And why is this called the big day? Because the peers, professionals within the country music industry, vote on these awards. So to the artist, it means, hey, I'm accepted and finally respected when they pick up one of those trophies. Now, it is a busy day for many with their hair and clothes and interviews and rehearsals. And on top of that, a 6 a.m. morning call for some.
We just love Nashville. We love being out here. And Big and Rich are big supporters of Children's Hospital, and we work at Children's Hospital, so we wanted to come out and show our support for them.
Yeah, Big and Rich played a great concert here at the Sommet Center early this morning, about 7 o'clock. They are up for Duo of the Year, Single of the Year, and Song of the Year for Lost in the Moment. So lots of fans turned out, dedicated to show support for them this morning. Now, that's not the only thing that's going to happen throughout the day. About 3:30, that's when the red carpet ceremony gets underway, and fans are going to be gathering outside of the Sommet Center to see their favorite stars and try to grab an autograph. If you go to Ticketmaster.com before 7 o'clock, you may be able to still get some seats inside this place too. The award show does start at 7, then there's a post-concert and party at the convention center for all of the stars. And some little twist. I know, Holly, I heard you and Tim mention that no women are nominated for Entertainer of the Year. And that was a little bit of a controversial thing. You know, Dierks Bentley, who is up for Album of the Year, will not be performing this year. Tracy Lawrence, who has his own independent label, he is actually up for Event of the Year, Vocal Event. You know, he recorded with Tim McGraw and Kenny Chesney, so that's something for a guy who just started his own label. And no said host this year. We're not going to have Brooks and Dunn, Vince Gill. We're going to have James Denton from Desperate Housewives and Brad Paisley's wife, Kimberly Williams Paisley, hosting segments. And another something different, you know, Sugarland's now a duo, only 2 of them, so they won't be in vocal group this year. Just some things to think about. Holly, Tim?
It was a really loud, thump. I almost jumped out of my seat because, I mean, you're not expecting to have something shot at your window.
Marcus Adams was riding in the car with his wife along this busy stretch of Highway 70 near Luther Lake and Dixon late Saturday night when the windshield shattered.
She swerved over into the other lane. I mean, luckily there wasn't a car beside of us because they would have been hit.
It didn't take long to figure out this was no accident. There were 2 other cars alongside the road with shattered windows, and these scattered everywhere.
The officers could hear the actual shooting going on in the background through the woods here.
Police called to the scene followed the sounds up the hill along Shady Hollow Road to a house full of kids and plenty of evidence.
And we found several cases of marbles and some more paintballs there at the location, along with some paintball guns, slingshots, and then also some alcohol.
This was no kids' game. Though these items may seem harmless, it was quite dangerous. Check out the damage done to this SUV's side window. And Marcus Adams' wife would have been hit in the head if the marble had gone through their windshield.
We made 1 arrest of an 18-year-old, and then we cited several juveniles.
18-year-old Jalen Ayers and 2 juveniles were charged with underage consumption and 8 counts of reckless endangerment. But that's still not much consolation for the victims.
It doesn't do me any good because, I mean, we're going to have to pay out of pocket to get that fixed.
Jennifer Herron, Channel 4 News.
That's part of recovery. Is having a positive attitude and going, I still look pretty good, I'm okay.
Jananne Green is the voice of experience, spreading hope at the wig shop in Brentwood. She was diagnosed with leukemia in 2010.
Above all, I am here by God's mercy. And that journey was very difficult, but it was made easier by over 100 people who gave blood.
It really is an inspiring story about how paths crossed leading to this wig shop. Just a month after Jananne was diagnosed, she was only given a night to live.
Now she has a whole new life after a bone marrow and stem cell transplant, followed by 100 pints of blood from random donors.
And I said, look on that bag and see where that blood came from. That is the darkest blood I've ever seen. And they said, well, it came from Boise, Idaho, a male. And I said, well, 3 cheers for that corn-fed, beef-eating cowboy.
Yeah, we are constantly working with local hospitals to make sure we have the best match for patients, whether you have leukemia or you've been in a car accident. And that's why right now we're in urgent need of all blood types.
Jananne is living proof it saves lives, and she's taken that second chance to help others in a health crisis.
Yeah, I don't think there's a woman who would raise her hand and say, yeah, I'll be bald tomorrow. But if it comes your way, then you adjust. Look in the mirror and see what you think about that.
The smiles are enough for the mom who used to work in a fast-paced corporate job to know she has received the gift that keeps on giving.
I need to write about 100 and plus thank you notes if I only knew who to send them to.
Jennifer Herron, Channel 4 News.
We were festive.
Oh, yeah.
Black Friday, David and Betty Carter honored their 10-year tradition and hit the malls, all decked out, to spread some holiday cheer.
The shop owners, they loved us. They wanted to stay and bring the people in.
And the shoe store. They said, can't you stay a little longer?
But their little Secret Santa shopping spree for a granddaughter was cut short. First at Opry Mills.
And then, as we were walking through the mall, some young woman who was security there asked us to leave.
The same thing happened at Rivergate Mall.
Well, the thing is, and you know it's not going to be good when it starts that way.
So why were they asked to leave? Well, in a letter that Betty Carter sent to both malls, she writes that mall security asked them to leave the premises because they were interfering with the mall Santa.
No beard, no belly, no belt, no boots, no bag.
The couple is used to going all out. That's them, the Flame and the Dame. The two say they were only having fun with the crowds as they shopped.
Just like Merry Christmas and stuff like that, you know, nothing offensive or anything.
She's been on the good list.
Oh, I do remember her.
The general manager at Opry Mills did respond by saying, quote, "We regret that we did not handle this correctly, knowing that they were just embracing the holiday season as we do. As valued shoppers, we hope they will accept our apology and an invitation to return to Opry Mills soon." A spokesperson for Rivergate Mall declined to make a statement.
I will never go back to a mall.
But that doesn't mean they've lost the Christmas spirit. Jennifer Herron, Channel 4 News.
Well, happy birthday to you, mister.
Thank you, Jennifer. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How many years now are you celebrating?
77.
Oh.
Sunset Strip.
So what do you do for a 77th birthday bash?
Well, I don't know. My wife's got a surprise for me, I think. I think she's going to take me to the Red Lobster.
Oh, that sounds good. Dig in. You deserve it. I think she referred to you in the other room as Sir George Jones. Yeah. You got a big honor heading your way with the Kennedy Center honors.
Oh, I'm just thrilled to death. I feel very honored, and I'll tell you, just to be among all those that have been there and already, people like Johnny Cash and Dolly Parton and so many of them, I'm speechless, you know.
Well, you know, that's equivalent to knighthood, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we're going to have a big dinner there the night before, and then the next night, of course, the award thing.
So you get to meet the president. So do you have planned out what you're going to say to the president of the United States?
Well, we met Mr. Bush the last time we were there, I don't know if it's been a year ago or what, a year or so ago.
So y'all are old friends, basically.
Oh, yeah. I walked off from him. He says, "George, you can't leave. You got to stay here with me." So they were still taking pictures, and I thought it was over with.
So you'll talk hunting, that kind of stuff? Good old Southern boy stuff?
Right. Yeah. Well, it'd be nice to see him again, and his wife, Barbara.
Oh, and yeah, Laura and the whole gang will be there, I'm sure. Now, this is a reflective time, I guess, when you get a Kennedy Center honors. So answer a big question for me. Where did that "yeah" come from that everybody tries to impersonate?
Well, when I quit smoking, I can't do the low parts so much anymore. But back when I smoked, I could do it real low, you know, and I used to do it all the time. Back when I used to have the fun days, you know. But we don't do it that much anymore.
But that's your signature sound there,
Yeah.
the possum and the yeah. So when you look back on your career, what's the one thing that you still just open your mouth over and say, "I cannot believe that was me and that I did that"?
Oh my goodness, I did that a lot.
You had a lot of success.
Oh well, like I said, I've been very lucky to be in this business and have the career that I've had, and I'm very thankful. And good Lord's been good to me.
Well, He Stopped Loving Her Today may be the all-time best country music song, according to a lot of people. Is that your favorite song?
It would have to be among all that I've recorded. But you know, a lot of people don't like that side of a song, and so I don't know. I loved it, but I didn't think it would be as big as it was. I didn't think it was. I said they won't play that. It's too sad.
Really?
And I carried the song about a year almost, and it stayed on my mind every day. And I said, well, something's got to be in it, and we'll go in and try it out.
So what advice would you give some of these country music singers of today, since you've lived and learned so much over the years?
Well, I'll tell them like old Waylon told them, you've got to love what you're doing. You've got to come to Nashville. You've got to not come to Nashville and look for stardom and glory and money. You've got to forget all about that. You've got to love it and come because you do.
Now, you're still working hard, so you're not out of the ball game just yet. I heard you got a new CD, Burn Your Playhouse Down.
Got a big one, and we still cut up on the stage. We don't need no rocket ship.
This is all duets, right, on this CD?
Uh-oh, I dropped my sound. Okay, I'm still listening.
Now, you got duets all on this CD, right?
Right. It's basically most of them are from the 93, I think it was, big ice storm that we had. And we did a Bradley Bourne's session, and we released one album from it. We did 2 songs with each artist. So we still had an album in the can. So we thought here lately it came up the idea that they're not doing any good in the can, so let's get them out. And they worked on them and updated them, and we got them out. The only new one is the one with my daughter, Georgette, which is the mother, Tammy Wynette is her mother. And she missed a good chance of singing earlier in life, didn't she?
Yeah.
But she wants to get started in the business. She loves it now. And she didn't get that interested at first because she had enough of it with her mom and daddy.
I imagine that's tough when you're gone all the time, yeah.
Well, yeah, old bull, I just know how they felt,
Yeah.
We don't want to get into that mess.
Well, we're really excited to hear her sing, and then I've heard there's also a duet that you and Tammy recorded years ago.
It'd been in the can for years. I couldn't even tell you when we cut it, but it still sounded great, and we leased it from Sony and put it on the album.
Yeah, and can you even explain that magic you and Tammy have together when your voices?
I don't know. I guess you would say it's loving what you do as much as we did, and we could walk in the studio and we could have sung Who Could Have Known or anything, and it would have come off because we love to sing together.
It's amazing. You always sound so great. You still do. We love to hear your singing. So we're looking forward to the next generation of Jones with you and Georgette.
Well, thank you so much.
Congratulations and happy birthday again.
Thank you, Jennifer. Bye-bye.
All righty, we're rolling. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, 13 Grammys.
Yeah.
8 CMA awards. So do you ever get to the point and say, oh gosh, what do I do now? I'm in a panic.
I would panic if I had to quit. So I'm still loving playing music and traveling and making records, and I've never done this for awards. Awards are just icing on the cake. I do it because I love it, and I still love it, and I'm more passionate about it, I think, today than I've ever been in my life. I love playing music. I love making records, and that's I'm just going to keep doing it. I mean, I feel like my best years are ahead.
You're kind of like the politicians that are out there now that say we want to bring all the parties together. You kind of brought the country music and the bluegrass and the gospel all together as one big happy family over the years.
Well, I mean, it's the thread that runs through the fabric of country music, and gospel is a very important thread. Bluegrass is an important thread, and it's all part of the woven fabric, and really to take bluegrass out of country music would be a big loss, And when I say country music, I don't necessarily mean commercial Nashville glitz and glamour, country music. I'm talking about real, pure, authentic country music, the real stuff, And so I think bluegrass is a very, very big part of that. And, the gospel, it's a great way to present the gospel through songs, You know, and the message of the gospel is, you know, is so easy to do with bluegrass music because, you know, gospel has always been such a big part of bluegrass. I think it was the way it was created.
And see, you brought it all together in this new album, The High Notes, on
yes.
Cracker Barrel's label.
Yes.
Which you'll recognize some of these songs. You actually kind of pay tribute to some of your great hits, right?
Yeah, they're, you know, they came to me a year ago, Cracker Barrel did, and wanted to do a bluegrass record. And I had just an idea for a long time to do a bluegrass record of my country hits, doing them all, you know, bluegrass versions of them. And so it was the perfect time to do it, and it was the perfect label to do it on because they, you know, almost having 600 stores out there, you know, it's like having that many record stores out there, you know, selling your records. So, you know, some of these songs were a little bit of a challenge, you know, to do them more of a bluegrass style, not using the steel guitar or the electric guitar, piano on every cut, you know, and
That surprises me because weren't some of these songs originally bluegrass songs? Like, for instance, maybe Uncle Pen?
Well, Uncle Pen, yeah, that was a bluegrass song originally, and then when we re-recorded it, we used steel guitar on it and electric guitar on it, you know, back in the 80s. And Cried My Heart Out Over You and Wouldn't Change You If I Could, both those songs were originally bluegrass tunes. Don Reno and Red Smiley did Wouldn't Change You If I Could, and Cried My Heart Out Over You was a Flatt and Scruggs song. So, you know, when I redid those songs the first time in the 80s, I added twin fiddles, I added steel guitar, I added electric guitar, piano, and of course drums and everything, and electric bass. That was my country band back in those days. So that was the things that we had hits on. But to come back and redo them, revisit them from a bluegrass perspective is just it's been great. You know, we really have had a great time doing them, and the fans love them. Like Cajun Moon, every night we do that song on the road. That, you know, people want to get up and start dancing. So it's
what about
so
Honey
fun.
with the bass going boom 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 throughout? I love it. You redid it really nicely.
Yeah, I love the version of Honey, and I think Country Boy is actually better on this Cracker Barrel CD than the original cut of Country Boy back in the 80s when we did that. So it's just a great record. I mean, I'm really pleased with the way it came out, and what I've really been pleased about is to see how it's been selling out there with the fans. They've just bought it up. I mean, it's been great. So we're really thankful.
And one thing it does, it brings out your voice more than the instrumentation, which surprises me because you're so wonderful on the mandolin. It's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your tummy at the same time to me when I see you go away at that instrument like that.
Well, you know, I think, you know, I wasn't so involved as much in the mixing of my records back in the early days. I mean, I was, but not nearly as much as I am now. I think nowadays I'm such a stickler more, I think, I want to make sure the voice gets out there, and I want to make sure that the lyrics are heard. So much music nowadays, really the music overtakes the lyrics, you know, and it's so loud, especially in rock music or pop music. It's really hard to distinguish, you know, some of the lyrics, and even some worship music, you know, it's just, you know, and those lyrics should be even more important to hear, you know. And so I'm a lot more involved now, you know, especially since I have my own label, you know, Skaggs Family. So it makes it a whole lot easier to be involved in the production of my records now.
So when you take your wife, your bride of 27 years,
ma'am.
out to Cracker Barrel, what's your big delight? What are you going to like to really pig out on?
I get the fried catfish. I've been there, I don't know how many times, probably 200 times, and I bet I've had catfish at least 150 times over the years.
Tartar sauce, ketchup?
No, maybe every now and then just a dip a little bit of tartar sauce, but it tastes so good, you know, without anything, you know. But my daughter Molly, she used to always get the meatloaf. That's what she would get, and so she couldn't eat it all, so she'd give me a little bite. So every now and then I go and have the meatloaf just in Molly's honor, you know, because they've left home now. They're in North Carolina, but.
Daddy has a little more money in his wallet these days.
These days I sure do, but a little emptiness in my heart, yeah.
Well, Ricky, okay, you're a wonderful musician, a wonderful singer, a wonderful family man. What would you like for your legacy to be? You keep paying tribute to all of your heroes like Bill Monroe and stuff. When you're gone, and there are other people coming up in the music business, how would you like for them to remember you?
Oh, wow. Ricky Skaggs was a godly man. that's what I would like for people to remember me by. The relationship I have with the Lord, I think, is to me the most important thing, because that relationship is what has connected everything that I do, musically, spiritually. It all connects together. You know, I couldn't imagine what my life would be without that relationship that I have. So if anyone could say anything good about me at the end of my life, that's what I would hope to see him say. Not just necessarily that he was a good musician or a good singer or a good dad, or, you know, but just a godly man that was honest, that loved God and loved his family. You know, that would be a good thing.
Sweet and simple. And yes, he does have some of that inspirational music on here. Somebody's Praying, the best song on this CD. You got to check it out. Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you, Jennifer. Great to see you.